We're going to be keeping a very close eye on Tuesday's forecast because of the potential there for some severe weather. Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Today is Saturday, so we've got 3 days out until this next event, but we do want to give you that first alert that Tuesday is kind of the next big weather impact day, if you will. We're going to be looking ahead tomorrow in particular to make that call on if it's going to be a first alert weather day or not, because even in the last 12 hours, the data has changed just a little bit, saying, hey, Tuesday, it's looking less of a late evening event. I mean, it's still going to be in the evening, but the timing has changed. It's sped up just a little bit. So I'll show you what that looks like coming up in just a second. Again, this is for Tuesday. That means tomorrow, Monday, going to be pretty nice days in which we're seeing a change in the weather pattern. So we'll also brush up on what tomorrow is going to look like and how Monday compares to tomorrow's forecast. So just keep in mind, we'll go through Tuesday first and show you guys exactly what we know about Tuesday, which, to be quite frank, it's not a whole lot because we already have seen some change in the details, mainly in the timing, but the heat is still there, the humidity is still there. We're going to feel the humidity as soon as Monday, but then Tuesday rolls around and here comes the storms. Wednesday, Thursday, still looking like we're going to get some active weather those 2 days as well. But of course, we can't get a good idea on Wednesday or Thursday yet because we don't know how Tuesday is going to play out. Of course, they affect each other, or at least one affects the other. But what we do know is that Cincinnati is in this slight risk for severe weather, so a 15% chance there for getting some severe weather. So that includes hail, maybe some tornadoes, and those severe wind gusts as well. And then your typical thunderstorm parameters as well, downpours and your lightning. Zooming out though, it's a big area that the Storm Prediction Center is watching, so that we're not the only ones. In fact, the entire Buckeye State, Indiana, most of Illinois, even the Commonwealth, under that slight risk as well, but we're kind of in the meat of it, if you will, in the weeds. So let's show you what it looks like here on one. This is one of our long-range computer models. We start off dry on Tuesday, and then we hit the afternoon, and here comes the showers and storms. If you've been tuning in with us over the last few days, this is looking more like a late afternoon to early evening. Well, now some of our models are having it come in as early as, say, when you're heading out to the bus stop in the afternoon to pick up your kids or heading home early from work that day. So it's just something we're going to keep a close eye on. We'll see if the trend sticks. We're still watching for some active weather overnight into your Wednesday. That's why we're not saying the severe weather threat has entirely sped up, but the window has increased a little bit. So we get into your Wednesday, showers and storms are still in that forecast, and then the same thing with Thursday. But we'll have a better idea on how Wednesday and Thursday play out based off of the forecast for Tuesday and how that also plays out too. So beyond the thunderstorms, we do know that Tuesday, is going to be a breezy one. And you're going to, even outside of these thunderstorms, you're going to be getting these stronger wind gusts, especially north of the area. That's where the center of low pressure is going to be trekking, is far north of the viewing area. And that's where we're going to see 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's Highland, that's Butler, that's going to be Warren, Clinton, even Fayette and Union counties. Just the farther north you are, the closer you are to that center of low pressure, the more likely you're going to be getting those wind gusts. And then, of course, within any of these thunderstorms, you could be getting those more severe wind gusts. So that'll be 55, 60, maybe even higher wind gusts. So that'll prompt some warnings, more than likely going to be Tuesday afternoon than anything. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look here at comments, see if people have any questions about this. No questions about Tuesday, just people, Seth and Susan tuning in, saying that Saturday turned out to be a beautiful day. And absolutely, we'll go ahead and take a look at some currents now that we've talked about that big weather story. Today, while it was a little bit cooler, it was a heck of a lot less active. Right here, we're taking a look at our Mount Auburn camera right here behind me. Got some lower level clouds, and eventually we're going to see more sun than not. So we're still seeing some breezes as well. Those winds are out of the north though, and so we were in the 60s earlier today. We've seen those temperatures drop just a smidge into the upper 50s. Overall, it's a beautiful afternoon and evening to go outside and Same thing with tomorrow. It's not too shabby at all. The warm air is much farther south of the viewing area, but it will eventually break north a little bit more. So upper 50s, lower 60s right now, and then tomorrow, kind of a very copy and paste forecast, just because we do start off relatively cold tomorrow morning. Clean sweeps here on radar east of the Cincinnati metro area. You still got a little bit more dense cloud cover, but I mean, as pressure builds, get more into Sunday, we'll get more clear skies than not. So while tomorrow's going to start off a little bit on the chilly side, temperatures in the low 40s, while the afternoon's going to play out quite nicely. We're talking highs mid, maybe even the upper 60s. And then we start to get into your Monday. The winds shift, the temperatures, well, they climb up a little bit, and we start to feel a little bit more like June rather than April. You can believe it, May is in the 7-day forecast, which I'll get to in just a second, and it brings in some cooler mornings, believe it or not. So that's why we always stress, maybe don't plant the sensitive flowers quite yet. If you can hold off, if you can just hold on a little bit longer, because I'll show you what the long-range temperature outlook is going to kind of trend. And I took off the numbers here because the numbers, I think, they kind of clutter up what I'm trying to say a little bit. So I want to point out some warnings next weekend that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. I don't think everyone's going to get frost. It's not looking like a widespread frost, but of course, the farther north you are, in the Buckeye State and in the metro area, the tri-state area here locally, well, you might be able to tap into some patchy frost. That's going to be for next weekend, the first weekend in May. This is why we stress, wait till Mother's Day to plant those flowers, because otherwise you might regret it. Not a slam dunk forecast, of course. This is a week away, so we'll see if it changes. But waking up on Saturday, I'm not too concerned about Saturday, but we'll see here Sunday. Notice the blue starts to slice Indiana and Ohio in half, and should that change easily by maybe 50 miles or so, well, we could be seeing some frost in parts of the viewing area. Of course, the farther south you are in our viewing area, so that's going to be northern Kentucky, maybe even southeastern Indiana as well. You have a less chance, just based off of climatology, in getting those patches of frost. So again, not a slam dunk, but we're going to be keeping a very close eye on it for you guys. And just another reminder that it's still in fact spring, and it does include those cool mornings, those beautiful afternoons, and then of course the rain and storms in between. So it's a very spring-like forecast ahead. Here's your 7-day. Tonight we're dropping into the low 40s, and that's because those skies, we're seeing them clear out right now. They will clear out so much to where tomorrow we're going to see more sun than not. Mid 60s, then Monday, the afternoon, upper 70s. It's going to feel a little bit more like May that day. Mostly sunny skies. I'm not worried about the Reds game because, I mean, well, it's going to be very pleasant out there at Great American. And then we do have that homestand. It's a 7-day stretch in which the Reds are at home. And it's, while they're busy, so is the weather, unfortunately. So the best day to head out to Great American, I would argue it's going to be either Monday or waiting until next weekend, because Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we still have several opportunities for some showers and some storms. Tuesday is kind of looking like that day saying, hey, strong to severe weather is possible. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Mid 80s, mid to low 80s here in Cincinnati. It really depends on how far north that warm air is going to travel, but I think it's going to break through our viewing area and bring with it those June temperatures. 83 is what I bumped it to. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, I'm not seeing a huge drop in the temperatures quite yet, but that's just, I think, because the models, they're struggling with how Tuesday's going to play out, and therefore how Wednesday and Thursday, well, how those 2 days are affected by Tuesday. So mid 70s still for both those days, still opportunities for scattered thunderstorms. I'm just not seeing as much organization to those days, or I'm not as confident in those days. So what I am a little bit more sure about is next weekend is going to be a little bit more on the drier side, a bit cooler behind all this active weather, but nevertheless dry, mid 60s. Saturday morning, mid to low 40s, whereas Sunday morning I have a forecast right here in the upper 30s for some of the viewing areas. So just something that we're going to be watching. I don't think everyone's going to get the frost. In fact, maybe none of us will get the frost. We will see how it plays out. Just know it's quite literally on our radar. Okay, we do have plenty of questions rolling on in. Caleb's tuning in from Adrian. Hi, Caleb. Appreciate it. Darla tuning in. Hope you had a great day and got to enjoy this beautiful day before work. Are we expecting any rainstorms for next weekend? Yeah, I just touched on that, Darla. And no, next weekend's looking fabulous. If anything, it's just going to be a little chilly in the mornings. In the afternoon, plenty of sun. Arlene's saying that they have already planted. Well, I'm hoping for those frosty mornings. Well, hopefully they stay far north of the area for you, Arlene. I appreciate it. And then Gail, I hope you have a great day as well. All right, so as far as the time, it is 6:12, and those temperatures tonight, they're going to be dropping into the lower 40s. You can see right over my shoulder in that 7-day forecast that it's going to be relatively chilly, but it's still, in fact, spring, so it's not out of the ordinary. And as we start to wrap up the month of April, well, I've been updating this graphic over the last couple of weeks just because it's been quite an active April. I mean, we started off with a bang, quite literally, in which April 3rd brought in 7 tornadoes. 7 tornadoes is what we've gotten up to, and that was just for one day. And so while there's no official definition for a tornado outbreak, you could make the argument that it was one here in the tri-state area for April 3rd. It was also characterized by the big flooding that happened in the days succeeding that. And so after this week, adding things all up, we've reached just over 7 inches of rain so far in April 2025. We have 4 more days left in April of 2025. And one of those is Tuesday. One of those is our severe weather days, or potentially severe weather days. So this number is going to change more than likely. 7.08 inches. Well, I would not, it depends on Tuesday and even Wednesday as well, as Wednesday's the last day of April. But we get into, we could very well, I should say, see that normal April rain, that value there on the right in the teal color, 4.53 inches. Well, we could very well get close to doubling that here in 2025, just with how active it's been. Of course, these measurements are official measurements there from the International Airport, technically northern Kentucky. So other than that, there really isn't too much to give you that first alert to, other than we're going to be watching those showers, storms on Tuesday. After a spring-like day, we start to feel a little bit more like summer for Monday and Tuesday. And then we settle into an active pattern for a few days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. More than likely, you're going to have to play around some showers and storms. We'll get a better idea of how those days are going to be playing out over the next few days. Even Tuesday is still a little fuzzy because we're 3 days out. We have more higher resolution models that'll be coming in this time tomorrow, and then most certainly by Monday. We will have a better idea around then too. So just something to keep in mind is Tuesday. And other than that, I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and tomorrow, enjoy it. Bring a jacket for any of those late evening plans, really early morning plans, because it's going to be a chilly one before the sunshine brings those highs back to the mid-60s. Signing off from Queensgate, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Have a good night.